Hello, Scorpio Sun, Pisces Rising. It is time for your year ahead reading. Let's start off with a little bit of your astrology though. With that Pisces Rising, this is how other people view you or what you choose to show to the world, how you appear in public. Pisces is a water sign, as is your Scorpio Sun, so you have that very heavy in your chart. You are also, Pisces is also a mutable sign, so it's not a fixed, it's not stubborn. You may seem a little wishy-washy sometimes, wanting everybody to be having a good time. You're also come off as somebody who's very psychic or very intuitive, who kind of innately understands how other people are feeling in any given situation. You go right to the heart of the matter. Now, with that Pisces rising, that means your sun is most likely in the ninth house. Not in every case, but most likely in the ninth house, which is the house of research, of higher education, of long distance travel, philosophy, religion. So you have a very strong, could have a very strong and intense interest in those areas. And you would tend to probably take things very seriously. And you may have a certain method you like to use when you're researching, when you're digging into the areas that are interesting you. You're going to get to the bottom of it, period. You want to know the answers. You don't want to have theories. You want to know definitively what is the answer here. And that might be part of where you're drawn to, or maybe a sense of frustration is because when it comes to philosophy and religion, we can't always come to a definitive answer one way or another. There's a need to trust your intuition when it comes to that. If you can't get a very definitive answer, then you may lean into that intuition of yours. All right, let's get into your cards. Now look, we have a visitor. Shoo it away. They are heavy over here right now. Come on, shoo shoo. Okay, now let's get into your cards. So I'm gonna label these cards just 1 through 12. But your first month, card 1, is going to be November of 2024. So we have going all over the place. Month 1, month 2, and month 3. Seeing a theme as far as the color here for this first quarter of yours. Month 4, month 5, and month 6. And then we have month 7, month 8, and month 9. Then month 10, 11, and 12, which will be October. So November through October. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Star card. So I'm just kind of looking overall at what cards you have out here. So the first thing I look for are major arcana cards, and you have several out here. We have the High Priestess, Temperance, the Hanged Man, the Devil, the Moon, the Magus, and on the back of the deck, the Star. So this is a year where you could be experiencing a major shift in something that you believe in, maybe in somewhere in your life, something significant is going to be evolving within you. So your outlook at the beginning of the year is going to be very different by the end of this next year. So keep that in mind. Things that happen as you're going out through this year are there to push you to make some changes. The next thing I kind of look at are influential people or points of interest with other individuals. And that can be found in the Court card. So I'm seeing here we have the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Wands. So 2 months here in particular where an interaction or some sort of connection with someone is going to be key in that month. So not a lot of external influences. This is a lot about you and your internal growth and evolution. So let's look at the card on the back of the deck here. We have the Star. This Star is telling you that this is a year you need to focus on taking care of yourself. You need to focus on your health, on your well-being, on the things that are right for you. Perhaps you've been a people pleaser in the past, or you tend to try to put the needs of everyone else above yours, which doesn't actually help long term. It just delays things, or later on something erupts because you were never content there. And that can frustrate others, is that you're not telling them when you're not happy or that you don't like something because you keep trying to please them. You need to put yourself first. You need to speak up for yourself. You are worthy of that. You deserve that. The star is telling you it is time, and your focus needs to turn to you. Indulge. If you need a break, tell people you need a break. If you need time away, you want time alone, tell people you need time alone, home alone in the house. So if you have a husband and 10 kids, they all need to exit the house. You don't want to leave the house. You enjoy your space, but you want just quiet and peace there for a little while. So they can shuffle off somewhere for the day, if that's what you need. But you need to start putting your needs first so that you can stay healthy and stay happy and feel good where you're at, or get clarity on what it is you want for you long term. All right, let's get into the months. Now, I do want to point out here, because I noticed initially there is a lot of orange points really popping out here in this first 3 months. So these first 3 months, maybe, I don't know, but this is what's popping through from that image for me, is this is your sacral chakra. So there is a need to do something expressive, something creative, something you're passionate about. There's a need to put a focus on that, or at least give your sacral chakra some attention. That could mean eating orange foods. It could mean painting a room orange. I don't know why that came up. Buying an orange velvet couch. I don't know why that's coming up. It's intriguing though. I like that. But you need to do something that stimulates that part of you. Just scribble on some paper. Draw random objects and then color it in. What is that? Kind of a sort of a Zentangle type thing? Whatever it is, do something creative that you enjoy doing. Work on some mazes, even some puzzles, if that's what you want to do. But you need to enjoy it and indulge yourself a little bit in that area to help heal that part of you. All right, now the cards. We're starting off here with the Knight of Swords. So knights are younger people, not like really young, but let's say high school to early college kind of thing, or into the college. They have a lot of ideas, because this is swords. Swords is an air element. This is all about communication, how they think, what they believe. They're going to talk a lot. They're going to talk a big game, but they don't actually know what they're talking about because they have no experience in that area. But they're going to try. They're going to throw an idea out there. They're going to try it. They're going to fail, and then they're going to try something else. Sometimes they may struggle with admitting that they are wrong, but they are trying so hard to get it right. They're trying so hard to figure it out. So you may need to come in here as a little bit of the voice of reason or advice, or the experience. Somebody with experience in this area who can help direct them and help guide them to the right choices. So this could be a coworker, or like an internship, or somewhere where you're kind of a mentor. It doesn't feel like a formal mentorship type, just somebody. And this might be a one-time thing where you just meet somebody on the bus or something and have a random conversation. Be smart, be wise, be yourself here. You have a lot of wisdom within you that you can share here, and it's going to impact this person meaningfully and may be a turning point for them. But it's not something you need to see long-term. The key here is you need to be willing to share your experience here. Be willing to share your experience. Be open to that here in month 1. In month 2, we have the 7 of Coins. Now, this is where you're evaluating, how are things going with work? How are things going with your home life? How are things going with finances? Do you like how everything is working together? Is there anything you want to change? What do you want to get rid of? What do you want to add? Are you feeling bountiful? How is your garden growing? Perhaps this is literally you assessing your garden area and determining what changes you want to make next year. Maybe you want to get rid of some plants and add some new things. Maybe you want to move certain things to a different area. Maybe you want to dig it all up and start completely over from scratch. But this is a month where you're considering these things and giving it a lot of thought. Perhaps this has in part to do with the changeover from 2024 to 2025 too. Or maybe you're working on some resolutions, or at least some ideas. Maybe you have a new direction you want to take your career in 2025. Or you're trying to determine if you want to do that. All about evaluation and assessment here in month 2. And then in month 3, we have the High Priestess. It's another major arcana card. The High Priestess, though, is definitely feminine energy. It's all about being connected within and without. Feeling a sense of connection within you to the divine. Whatever the divine means to you, there isn't a wrong answer there. A connection between your internal self, your soul, your heart, to the moon, the sky, the universe, God, etc. Whatever it is for you. It's important for you to feel connected. Because this also taps into the wisdom that you have here in your life. You have a lot of wisdom within you. And if your connection, your feeling of connection is also strong, you'll feel more elevated. You will feel more confident. And the word complete wants to come in there too. But there is a sense that you need to spend some intentional time fostering that connection, building that connection. So whether that means meditation or walking out under the full moon or saying the rosary or I want to say the mandala, but that's not quite it. But maybe you're working on a mandala or with a mandala. You need to find that sense of connection. You need to find a way to tap into that stillness, that wisdom within you, so that you're open to sharing it when the need arises. And you're integrating it also within all of you. And it must tap in some way with your sacral chakra too. So perhaps there is a creative outlet that you need to use in order to get into that flow kind of state. That might be what your key is here. Okay, that's it for month 3. In month 4, we have the Temperance card. This is a card about, it's a couple different things. One, there's a sense of alchemy here. Transmuting our emotions from one thing to another. Transmuting anger into something that's more productive, into motivation of some type. Converting it into something that's going to benefit you rather than get in your way. Another aspect of temperance is about balance. Because if we're so angry and all of our energy is focused on that anger, we don't have room for more love, for more joy, because we're focused on the anger. And we're letting that control our life and our decisions and our emotions and our interactions. Whereas if we can find a way to transmute it or let it go, release it, then we are open and we're more available to others. You're more present in the moment. And you're more focused on the future and your potential instead of something that's already happened that you can't change. It's very important here in month 4. So I don't know if something's going to occur right here in month 4. It does feel like that. It doesn't feel like this is necessarily something from the past. It could be tied a little bit, but this feels very much present moment thing. So when you're going through something, maybe you're having an argument or something with somebody here in this month, remind yourself it's not worth your energy to hold on to that anger. Doesn't mean you have to forgive the other person. It just means you need to take care of your energy, of your well-being here, and what's best for you. And then in month 5, we have the Hanged Man. This is a month of time out. Time out. We're taking a break. We're not going to be making any big decisions. We're just in an observation mode. We're going to see we're just going to see what's going on around us. We just want to know how everybody else is reacting. We want to understand how other people are reacting. It's more appropriate here. Now, this representation of the Hanged Man is a little different than the traditional one, where it feels like he's being forcibly put into that kind of a position. Usually they're upside down, meaning they're changing their perspective, or there's a desire to change your perspective on a situation, on the person, on something that's going on around you. So rather than inserting yourself into it or getting involved, you need to stand back and let things play out without your input. There's a lesson for you within that and for the people that are doing the actions that you are just observing can learn here. trying to tap in. There feels like there's something else in there, so just give me a second. So yeah, the other aspect is that you are in control of this timeout. You are in control of this. There's no excuses here. If you choose to get involved in something and it goes sideways, that was your choice. That was your option. You need to take that step back. In spite of what it looks like around you, you have control here on how or when you're going to interact in anything. And the recommendation is simply here, just to be an observer here this month. All right. Month 6, we have the 5 of Swords. This is indicating there's a potential argument or some sort of disagreement going on. And it is better to find a compromise. It is better to agree to disagree than it is to try to win the argument at all costs. It's a hollow victory if you do win the argument, because you're going to lose something in the process. And that's not going to be beneficial for you. It's not going to be in your best interest to win this argument at all costs. And that might be part of what you learn here in month 5, is that sometimes it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. It is okay to just disagree when the majority of the time you agree, and maybe just avoid that subject in the future. So there's going to be a moment or a tense moment this month, again, a disagreement or something with someone, and you just need to find a way to yourself step back. And maybe that's what you learn in month 5, is sometimes you just have to take a step back so that you don't ruin the moment, so that you can see the bigger picture instead of the minute little argument or piece. If you're so focused on that one piece, you're going to miss the whole big picture, and that's not what you want right now. You need to see the big picture. You deserve to see the big picture. So it's a sense of agreeing to disagree, or acknowledging that you're not going to see the same viewpoint here, and you don't need to browbeat with words the other person into seeing your point of view, because they're just not going to. And that's okay. It is okay. All right. Down here in month 7, we have the Devil. Temptation. There's also a sense of self-sabotage here. So this could mean that as a result, or as part of the fallout of this argument, even if you do agree to disagree, you're still going to struggle with it, right? You're still going to try, maybe slip into some old habits or bad habits or behaviors that slow you down, that prevent you from progressing, that hold you back, that self-sabotage aspect here. This is just telling you or asking you to recognize that that's what's happening and to try to change it in the moment. And if you don't succeed, just recognize that you did try. You are making an effort to move beyond those things that hold you back, from eating the whole cake, from going to the casino and as a consolation prize, from drugs or alcohol or things like that might be detrimental to you long term. Even small, minute changes, even just recognize that that's what you're doing, can help you move past it in the future. But you have to start recognizing that that's what you're doing in the now. And only you can set yourself free from this. This is not on anybody else. This is something that you need to overcome or start overcoming. Because these chains, you're willingly putting them on yourself. You're willingly chaining yourself up to hold you in place and prevent you from moving forward. Part of that can be our egos, because ego likes things the way they are. Ego knows how things work out right now. Ego doesn't like change, because then it's scary. It doesn't know what's coming after that. It's a human reaction. But being able to recognize that and push past it, even if it takes time, is going to be in your best interest, and it is in the best interest for everyone. And then in month 8, we have the Two of Wands. This is a sense of adventure a little bit. This is planning for the future. Then brainstorming ideas. Dream big. Don't hold yourself back. What seems like impossible right now that has the potential to actually happen if you put your mind to it? Put it on paper. Come up with all sorts of different plans. Put it out there in the universe. Have fun with this. Tap into that sacral energy here and be creative with it. Maybe you want to go on a week-long quilting cruise next year. Creative, travel, and maybe it's to, well, let's say, Alaska, because I happen to know there are some cruises there. And there's the historical or long-distance travel, along with research or learning of that area while you're on that trip. So you're tapping into that Scorpio 9th house energy, you're tapping in and stimulating that sacral energy, and you're having fun. Plan for that. Feel like you're in there and in the moment. It does not have to literally be a quilting cruise to Alaska, by the way. It could be whatever stirs up in your imagination that would get you excited. What is that? Dream of it. Play with it, with all those ideas, and have fun. And then in month 9, we have the moon. This is where secrets are revealed. Things that you can't see, that don't seem obvious, are suddenly exposed. This could be this could be a secret somebody has been withholding or trying to hide from you. With the best intentions, though, I feel. So the intentions of them hiding it were good because they didn't want you to find out and be hurt or something like that. But the fact that they kept it a secret has the same effect. So there is a need there. There were good intentions, yes, but it is fine to feel anger. It is fine to let your emotions flow here. The moon has to do with Cancer, which is also a water sign. You're a Pisces, which is a water sign, and a Scorpio, which is a water sign. You need to let your emotions flow. Have a good cry over it. Be angry. Feel it and then release it. Don't hold on to it. Remember, we don't want to hold on. We want to transmute it into something that's productive or good for us. But something is discovered, revealed, exposed here in month 9 that you are clueless about. And that you may feel hurt and angry that they weren't just upfront and honest with you in the first place. Ultimately, it isn't going to be something that's a big deal. It's that you feel betrayed and you feel disappointed and anger there. And that's what you're going to have to deal with and process here in this month and leverage this transmutation energy. All right. In month 10, we have the Queen of Wands. Feminine energy. Wands are a fire element. This could be an Aries. It could be a Sagittarius. It could be a Leo. But they're very much somebody who is very confident in who they are and what they do. And they're not afraid to go after their dreams. They may seem like a risk taker. They could also be somebody who has a very bombastic personality. Somebody who is going to be there cheering you on. Maybe the loudest person in the crowd potentially. But they're going to encourage you to take the risk, to make changes, to do something different. If you're thinking about it, they're going to encourage you to go for it. And they may be able to help you come up with a plan, or at least give you the impetus or the energy to push you toward that starting line. So this could be somebody who is an advisor. It could be a friend of yours too, although it doesn't feel like necessarily a close friend. This is somebody maybe you just see occasionally, but you get along really well with them. I'm feeling maybe probably more Aries because Scorpio is ruled by Mars and so is Aries. So you guys are on the same page a bit there. It's just fire and water energy. So you may be inspired by some changes that they have made in their life since the last time you saw them. And they may have some really solid advice for you on what you can do to change your life. Or at least at a minimum, they're going to be encouraging you to go for what it is that you want. To push yourself past any fear. To let go of the chains of the past things and soar, fly, go for it. So energizing connection, conversation is what I'm feeling here. An impetus for your future. And down here in month 11, we have the Magus or the Magician. This is the first card in the Major Arcana. This is the first person the Fool meets on their journey. They have the tools, they have the knowledge, they have the connections, and they have the ability to build or create whatever it is that they desire. This is a card of manifestation. You're going to be in a place here, in a good place, at least energetically, where you can almost think of it one day and a few days later it's there. It's going to feel like turnover is pretty quick, at least on the smaller or littler things. If you ask for a specific sign, for example, from the universe, if you should do something, boom, within the next few minutes, you might get that sign. It's going to be a test of your trust, though, in your own intuition, if you're going to follow that or act on it. But you have everything you need to make the life that you want, is what this is telling you. And if you have a dream, now is the time to go for it. If you have a goal or something you want to do, now is the time to start putting that in motion and taking those first steps so that you can make it happen. Now in month 12, we have the 10 of Wands. So one of the things that might get in the way of your plans is all the extra stuff you're hanging on to. All the things you want to do, all the things that you think you need to be doing. So many things. It's Wands again, right? So these are things, maybe these are old hobbies that you've been holding on to, all the paraphernalia that goes with those. And it's just cluttering up your home or your space in some way. This is the time to declutter, to reclaim your space, and open yourself up for the potential of the future. Tens are also indicating a conclusion, the ending of something. It is okay to let go of some burdens that you've been dragging around with you that you no longer need to. You need to recognize that you can let some things go, and that's okay. You do not have to keep being responsible for them, especially if these are things that other people should be owning. So don't be afraid to drop the ball on the things that you should not be responsible for, or at least pick them up and hand them back to them. Say, here, this is yours. Nope, I cannot do it anymore. I cannot hold on to it. I will not do this anymore. You need to take care of it now so that you can free up your energy to start something new. Some new thing is going to catch your eye in the next month or two after this, but you have to make space for it. You have to make room for potential because there's a lot coming. All right, that is what I have for you, Scorpio Sun, Pisces Rising. Please hit that like button. Please share this with others. Please comment below and please subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.